Listen to me carefully. I want you to stop what you are doing right now. Put down your phone, close your laptop, and just look at yourself. I am not here to give you another motivational speech that you will forget in 10 minutes. I am here to hold up a mirror. This mirror is not going to show you your reflection in the glass. It is going to show you the truth about your life, not the truth about your boss, your bank account, or your past. I am talking about the truth about you. There is one thing silently shaping every single day of your life, even when you are not looking. It is your choices. You might think your life is a result of luck, or fate, or just bad timing. You are wrong. Every success you have ever had, and every mistake you have ever made, started with a choice. A small one. A quiet one. Maybe you did not even notice you were making it. But here is the secret. You are only one decision away from a completely different life. Most people never make that decision. They just wait. They hope for a miracle. They complain about their situation while they scroll through their screens for hours. They do not realize that by doing nothing, they are actually making a choice. They are choosing to stay exactly where they are. Today, you are going to see what you have been doing to yourself. When this video finishes, you will never look at your life the same way again. And because we are learning together, this will help you improve your English. You are not just studying words, you are feeling them. You are growing with them. So listen to every word. Let the truth hit you. If you are ready to stop existing and start living, let us dive into the deep psychology behind why you keep choosing the wrong path, and more importantly, how you can finally break the cycle. Let me ask you a simple question. Why do smart people stay stuck in the same place for years? Why do you say you want to be successful, but then you spend 6 hours watching shows? Why do you say you want to change, but you do the exact same things every single morning? The answer is simple, but it is dangerous. You are not aware of the hidden psychology behind every choice you make. Let us break it open. Lesson 1. The trap of comfort. The human brain is a funny thing. It is not actually built to make you successful, and it is definitely not designed to help you chase your wildest dreams. Your brain is a survival machine. Its only job, from the moment you wake up until you close your eyes at night, is to keep you alive. And in the view of your brain, the best way to stay alive is to stay comfortable. Think about it. Every single day you face small moments of tension. You have to choose between waking up early to work on your goals or hitting the snooze button for another hour of sleep. You choose between starting that project you have been putting off or staying in a job that makes you miserable. You choose between facing a difficult conversation or avoiding the pain entirely. Every time you face this choice, your brain screams at you. It says, choose the easy way. Choose the sofa, choose the familiar. Even if that choice is actively destroying your future, your brain does not care. To your mind, safety feels more important than success. That is the trap. You tell yourself that you are making logical decisions. You say, I did not go to the gym because I was tired, or I did not start my business because the market is too risky. But let us be honest, those are not logical reasons. Those are emotional excuses. You did not go to the gym because the temporary pain of moving your body felt heavier than the long-term reward of being healthy. Success is not about being perfect. It is about training yourself to pick the harder, more uncomfortable path every single day. When you choose comfort, you are not just making a one-time decision. You are building a habit. You are telling your brain that this is your new default setting. If you skip the workout today, it becomes easier to skip it tomorrow. If you delay your work this week, it becomes your lifestyle next month. Your identity is nothing more than a collection of these past choices. You think you are lazy? That is just the result of 1,000 lazy choices. You think you are not confident? That is just the result of 1,000 times you chose to stay quiet. Your identity is not written in stone. It is built in the moments when nobody is watching. If you want to change who you are, you do not need a brand new life. You just need to start making new, uncomfortable choices, one by one. Lesson 2. The danger of choosing nothing. There is a choice that is more dangerous than picking the wrong path. It is the choice to pick no path at all. This is where most people lose the game of life. They do not actively choose growth, but they also do not actively choose comfort. They simply float. They live on autopilot. They say things like, "I will get to it later," or "maybe next year will be my time," or "let us just see what happens." What they do not realize is that indecision is still a decision. It is the most expensive choice you can make. Because when you refuse to choose your own future, you are essentially handing the pen to the world and letting it write your story for you. And let me tell you, the world does not care about your dreams. The world does not care about your potential. If you do not steer your own ship, you will end up wherever the current happens to take you, and that is usually nowhere good. How many times have you said to yourself, "I really had no other choice"? You tell yourself you had to stay in that toxic relationship, or you had to accept that job you hate, or you had to stay stuck in your current situation. That is a lie you tell yourself to feel better. You always have a choice. You just did not like the price tag that came with the better one. You were afraid of the hard work, the temporary pain, or the uncertainty of starting over. So you chose the easier pain. You chose to suffer in silence rather than face the fear of change. But every time you say, "I had no choice," you are giving away your power. You are telling your brain that you are a victim of your circumstances. But you are not a victim. You are the architect of your life. If you want to change your reality, you have to stop waiting for a giant, life-changing event. You need to start making better choices in the small, boring moments of your day. Choose to wake up when your alarm goes off. Choose to read 5 pages of a book instead of scrolling through your feed. Choose to have that difficult conversation. Choose to speak up for yourself. These small, seemingly insignificant choices are the bricks you use to build the version of you that you have always wanted to meet. You will never become that person until you start making the choices that person would make. Take a deep breath and realize this: you are not stuck, you are not broken, and you are definitely not helpless. You just need to start choosing differently, starting right now. Lesson 3. Responsibility versus blame. This choice is the absolute game changer. It is the bridge between being a permanent victim and becoming an unstoppable force of nature. Most people go through life playing the blame game. They wake up and immediately start pointing fingers at their circumstances, their upbringing, the economy, or the people around them. They blame their past, their parents, or their partners. It is a very easy habit to fall into because blame feels like a warm, protective shield for your ego. When you blame someone else, you get to tell yourself that it is not your fault, so you do not have to change. But here is the hard truth. Blame is a prison. Every time you point a finger at the world, you are handing over your power. You are saying, "I am helpless, and my life depends on what others do." If you think your life is ruined because of someone else, then you have just admitted that you have no control over your future. You become a passenger in your own life, sitting in the back seat while someone else drives the car. Responsibility, on the other hand, is the ultimate form of freedom. It does not mean that what happened to you was fair or that it was your fault. It simply means that you are the one in charge of what happens next. Think of it like this. Imagine a man named Arthur who spends his entire life sitting in a room staring at a heavy wooden chair in the middle of the floor. Every morning he glares at that chair and blames it for his unhappiness. He says, "I am stuck because of this chair. I am miserable because of this chair. I cannot move forward because of this chair." One day, a friend walks in and asks him, "Arthur, why don't you just move the chair?" Arthur goes silent. He realizes something shocking. The chair was never bolted to the floor. It was never holding him hostage. He was just so comfortable blaming the chair that he never bothered to stand up and push it aside. Your life has a chair too. It might be a bad memory, a toxic habit, or a person from your past. You have the power to remove it whenever you want. Blaming is just an excuse to stay sitting down. Responsibility is the act of standing up, grabbing that chair, and clearing the path ahead. The moment you say, "My life is my responsibility," everything shifts. You stop waiting for the world to fix things, and you start fixing them yourself. That is the moment you reclaim your power. Lesson 4. Growth versus excuses. We all have that internal voice that claims it wants more from life. You say you want to be confident, you want to be free, you want to build something that actually matters. But then, when the opportunity for real growth knocks at your door, you do not open it. You hide behind a wall of excuses. I am too tired. I do not have enough time. I am not ready yet. Or what if I fail? These excuses feel incredibly real. They sound smart, they sound logical, and they make you feel safe in the short term. But they are not the truth. They are just traps. Every time you choose an excuse over growth, you are not protecting yourself from pain. You are actively shrinking your own potential. Think of it this way. Imagine two people standing in front of a high-speed elevator that only opens once a year. This elevator is the only way to get to the top floor of success. Person A sees the door open, takes a deep breath, and jumps inside, even though they are nervous. Person B stands there and starts overthinking. They worry that their outfit is not right. They wonder if they are qualified enough to be on that floor, and they decide to wait for a better elevator. The doors close. When they open again a year later, Person A is already living a different life, while Person B is standing in the exact same spot, feeling exactly the same way. Growth is that elevator. Excuses are the door you refuse to enter. Every person you look up to, every person who has actually achieved something great, they did not have a secret shortcut. They simply chose growth when they were scared, when they were lonely, and when they were tired. The only difference between them and you is that they stopped making excuses. Stop thinking that growth is about being motivated every day. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes. Growth is a war. It is a daily battle between the version of you that wants to stay small and the version of you that knows you were made for more. The only way to win is to stop saying later. You do not need to wait for the stars to align or for your life to be perfect. You need to start now. Every time you make an excuse, that quiet voice inside you that knows your potential gets a little bit fainter. One day, you will look in the mirror and realize that voice has gone completely silent. Do not let that happen. Choose growth today, even if it feels terrifying, because the price of an excuse is a lifetime of regret, and that is a cost you simply cannot afford. Lesson 5. Long-term vision versus short-term pleasure. Every single hour of your day, you are faced with a silent battle. It is a choice between a reward that feels good right now and a reward that will change your life years from now. Your brain is hardwired to crave the easy win. It wants the sugar, it wants the dopamine hit from your phone, and it wants the comfort of doing nothing. If you do not consciously train your brain to resist these temporary highs, you will eventually lose your life to a series of 5-minute pleasures that leave you feeling empty for decades. Think of it like a man digging a hole. Every time he chooses the junk food, he digs an inch deeper. Every time he skips his training or ignores his goals to scroll through social media, he digs another inch. After 10 years, he looks up, but he cannot even see the sunlight anymore. The hole is too deep. The tragedy here is that he never felt like he was digging his own grave. He thought he was just relaxing, just taking a break, just enjoying the moment. That is the danger of short-term thinking. It does not feel like destruction while it is happening, but it is. Now imagine someone else. This person chooses the hard things. They choose to read, to save money, to build a skill, and to show up even when they are exhausted. At first, it is boring. It is lonely, and frankly, it is difficult. But 10 years down the road, they are not in a hole. They are standing on top of a mountain. Both people had the same amount of time, but they made different choices. Successful people live by one golden rule. If it feels good right now, it might cost me later. But if it feels hard right now, it will reward me later. They are willing to sacrifice today's comfort for tomorrow's freedom. They endure the storm because they know it is the only way to own the sunshine. You are not being punished for your short-term choices. You are being punished by them. And, conversely, you are not just being rewarded for your long-term discipline, you are being built by it. So ask yourself, what am I choosing when no one is watching? Because your life is not shaped by the big, rare events. It is shaped by the tiny, invisible choices you make every single day. Choose the long-term path, especially when it is boring, especially when it hurts, and especially when nobody is clapping for you. Because 10 years from now, you will meet the result of the choice you make today. Make sure it is a result you can be proud of. Lesson 6. Identity versus image. We are living in a world that is obsessed with how things look from the outside. You are constantly forced to make a choice. Will you nurture your true identity, or will you spend your energy chasing the image that you want others to believe? This is a silent war, and most people are losing it without even realizing they are on the battlefield. Think of it like this. Your identity is the person you are when you are alone in a room, with no phone, no social media, and no one to impress. It is built on your values, your quiet truths, and your actual character. Your image, however, is the performance you put on for the world. It is the filtered photos, the status updates, and the carefully crafted sentences you use to get likes and approval. Identity makes you strong on the inside. Image only makes you look good on the outside. Here is the tragedy. The more you chase that image, the more you lose the real you. Imagine a guy named Leo. Online, Leo is a superstar. He posts motivational quotes every morning. He shares photos of his intense workouts, and he talks about discipline like he is a monk. But at night, when the screen goes dark, Leo feels empty. He is exhausted, not because he is actually doing too much, but because he is tired of pretending to be someone he is not. He is a slave to the opinions of strangers. He does things for applause. He hides his failures to stay accepted, and he performs his life instead of living it. This is why so many people burn out. They are not tired from hard work. They are tired from wearing a mask that does not fit. The day you finally decide to choose your identity over your image is the day your life becomes peaceful. You stop fearing judgment because you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You are finally free. Stop trying to be someone for the sake of being seen. Remove the mask. Stand in your truth, even if it means you lose a few followers or miss out on a few empty compliments. At the end of your life, you do not want people to say, "He looked successful." You want to be able to look in the mirror and say, "I was real. I was free. I was me." That is the only power that actually lasts. Lesson 7. Reaction versus reflection. Your life is not defined by the events that happen to you. It is defined by how you handle those events. Something goes wrong, someone insults you, or a plan falls apart. In those moments, you have two paths. You can react, or you can reflect. Most people choose to react. Reaction is fast, messy, and driven by your ego. You snap back in anger, you panic, or you spiral into overthinking. It feels like you are protecting yourself, but in reality, you are just handing over your power. Every time you lose your cool, you let the outside world dictate your inner state. Reflection, however, is where you find your strength. It is the ability to pause, take a deep breath, and zoom out. When you reflect, you do not let the situation trigger you. Instead, you ask yourself, why does this bother me? What is the lesson here? How can I respond with clarity instead of chaos? Reflection is the difference between a child throwing a tantrum and a leader solving a problem. Imagine 3 things placed into a pot of boiling water: a raw carrot, an egg, and a tea bag. The heat is the same for all of them, but they all respond differently. The carrot becomes soft and weak. The egg becomes hard and closed off. But the tea bag? It transforms the water itself. It takes the heat and uses it to create something new. Most people are like the carrot or the egg. They react to every comment, every bad day, and every delay, turning them into a bundle of stress and resentment. But you have the power to be the tea bag. You can take the heat of a difficult situation and use it to grow. You do not have to fight every battle you are invited to. You do not have to answer every insult or fix every problem this very second. By choosing to pause, you take back control. You become the master of your energy. Remember, reaction is what people do when they are stuck on autopilot. Reflection is what people do when they are designing their own lives. Every time you feel that urge to snap, that is your test. Will you be the one who breaks under pressure? Or will you be the one who uses that pressure to become something stronger? Lesson 8. Creation versus consumption. Every single day, you are making a choice between 2 states of being. You are either building something, or you are watching someone else build. Modern life is designed to keep you in a state of consumption. You scroll through endless feeds, you watch other people live their lives, and you let your brain drift into a passive fog. Consuming feels like you are doing something. You feel informed. You feel entertained. But the truth is, it makes you a spectator of your own existence. Think of it this way. Imagine 2 people sitting at a desk. One person spends 3 hours watching videos about how to paint, how to write, or how to succeed. They feel like they are learning, but they never actually pick up a brush or a pen. The other person spends those same 3 hours creating something messy, imperfect, and raw. The first person is a consumer. They will forget what they watched in 10 minutes. The second person is a creator. They are building a legacy, one mistake at a time. Creation is vulnerable. It is hard, it is lonely, and it is often uncertain. When you create, you have to face the risk of being judged or failing. That is why most people choose to consume instead. It is safe, it is easy, and it requires 0 effort. But here is the catch. Every hour you spend consuming someone else's life is an hour you steal from your own. You become a follower of the world's agenda instead of a leader of your own destiny. If you don't take charge and create your own life, you will end up living inside the version of life that someone else has built for you. You will wear their brands, follow their trends, and work to build their dreams while yours slowly wither away. The world doesn't need more people who know how to scroll. It needs more people who know how to build. You can start small. Write 1 sentence, design 1 idea, or solve 1 problem. Stop watching life from the sidelines and get into the game. The moment you shift from consuming to creating, your brain wakes up, your soul comes alive, and you finally start to design the life you were meant to live. Lesson 9. Forgiveness versus resentment. Let us talk about something heavy: resentment. It is dark, it is quiet, and it feels like a shield. When someone hurts you, your brain tells you to hold on to that pain. It says, if I let this go, I am weak. But the truth is, resentment is not protecting you. It is poisoning you. Every time you replay a betrayal in your mind, every time you hope for karma to strike, you are not hurting the person who wronged you. You are only hurting yourself. It steals your peace, clouds your focus, and hardens your heart. It keeps you stuck in the past, trapped in a loop of bitterness. You cannot heal a wound that you refuse to let go of. Forgiveness is not about saying what they did was okay. It is about saying that what they did no longer controls your future. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate act of power. You are taking your focus back. You are taking your energy back. Imagine you are walking around carrying a glass of medicine that someone handed to you years ago. You did not deserve it and you did not ask for it. But every day you keep taking a sip, hoping it will somehow hurt the person who gave it to you. But it never does. It only destroys you from the inside out. The moment you decide to forgive, you are simply dropping the glass. You do not have to forget what happened, and you certainly do not have to invite that person back into your life. You are just choosing to prioritize your own peace over your need for justice. Studies have shown that letting go of resentment lowers your anxiety, helps you sleep better, and boosts your self-esteem. Not forgiving is like walking around with heavy chains that you have the key to, but you refuse to unlock. They do not deserve your forgiveness, but you absolutely deserve your own peace. You deserve to move forward. You deserve to feel light. So stop holding on to the past. Forgive them, not for their sake, but for your own. That is how you win the war inside. Lesson 10. The choice of now. Finally, we arrive at the most critical choice of all. Now versus later. Every single day, you are making this decision, even if you do not realize it. Later feels like a safe, smart plan. It feels like you are being responsible by waiting for the right moment. But the truth is, later is a lie. It is a trap that turns into next week, next month, next year, and eventually, it turns into never. You keep delaying your dreams, your growth, and your potential, telling yourself that you will get to it when things are perfect. But things will never be perfect. Imagine there is a giant clock ticking behind you, counting down the time you have to build the life you want. Every time you say, "I will do it later," that clock gets a little smaller. You do not notice it at first because you think you have plenty of time. But one day you will turn around and realize the clock is gone. You did not run out of time because you were weak. You ran out of time because you kept choosing to wait. Now is scary. Now is uncertain. Now is full of resistance because it requires you to actually show up. But now is all you have. If you want to change your life, you have to start in the present. Speak now. Create now. Apologize now. Commit now. Do not wait until you feel ready, because readiness is a feeling that only comes after you start. Most people do not fail because they lack talent. They fail because they never actually start. That is the most tragic ending of all. Your life is a limited experience, and you do not get to choose how much time you have. You only get to choose how you spend it. So, when you finish watching this, do not tell yourself you will change tomorrow. Do not say you will start next week. Say, "I choose now." That one decision is the key to everything. Because your life is not defined by what you hoped for or what you dreamed of doing one day. It is defined by the choices you made when it was hard, when it was silent, and when you were the only one watching. The power was always in your hands. You were just waiting for yourself to use it. Start today and never look back. Go out there and choose your life before someone else chooses it for you.